What's going on, everyone? Happy Tuesday, and welcome back to Sin City Crypto Live. My name is David. I'll be one of your co-hosts. And today, like every single weekday and now on Sundays, we're coming at you live from our studio here in the heart of Las Vegas, Nevada. Today, we have a very special show. We have two very special guests joining us. Magic Internet Money in T-minus 5 minutes. We also have Crypto Blood joining us to celebrate Blood Month, according to Robin. He'll be joining us in about 30 minutes. We're talking CPI. We're going to discuss what the Fed will be doing. We'll be breaking down the numbers. What does it mean for Bitcoin? Where do we expect it to go next? Plus, we have more news regarding Paxos, BUSD, and Binance. We're going to discuss that and much, much more. But before we can discuss that and much, much more, I'd like to introduce you to your other co-host. Hello, Robin.
Hola! It's your boy, Big Rob, back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If it's your first time checking us out, we're an entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel where we take old, boring, stale information and package it up in a fun and sexy CPI kind of way with Bitcoin hitting 22K.
Wow. Are you surprised? Just real quick, all right, before we dive into numbers and all that, are you surprised? Forecast was 6.2. We got 6.4. Are you surprised that Bitcoin rallied?
Well,
the stock market hasn't rallied.
You know what? The stock market did. The stock market's got some volatility. So it was in the red this morning, and then it flipped green, and now it's back to the red. So a lot of uncertainty there, but crypto is in the green. Bitcoin's in the green. Altcoins.
What does that mean? Good. That crypto is now decoupled from the traditional market?
No. But it is promising that we're getting a big rally. Now, we did have a couple of green days on the stock market this week, so maybe it's time for Bitcoin to catch up. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe we just needed the CPI not to come in as like end all be all, doom and gloom, everything's on fire. It kind of came in worse than expected, but not by much. And overall,
still less than last month, year over year.
Overall, the CPI numbers are coming down. So we're heading in the right direction, just not fast enough. Right. And so the Fed's goal is to bring down inflation. We're getting there, but we're getting there a little slower than we wanted to.
So
I don't think the thing is what I think the reason that the markets are rallying, or at least Bitcoin is because there's probably not going to be any drastic changes with the Fed and their policy. They're probably still going to do the 0.25.
You don't think so?
The next two meetings. Yeah, they're not going to do a 0.5.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not like it's grossly off of where it should have been, right? And so you can leave it at that. I think it's as expected, just a touch worse. So the Fed's not going to completely change course and ratchet up the federal interest rate next one more than what's expected, which is 0.25. Now, Bitcoin's 22,100, man. Nice move. I'm telling you. Are y'all as excited as I am? Are you excited to see Bitcoin not going down to 16,000 or whatever the hell we were going? Are you also excited to hit this like button? What's up? Y'all hitting this like or what? Y'all like this video? Do us a favor. Hit the like button. You want me to jump right into the CPI numbers real quick?
I want to jump right into our guest.
Okay. For sure. That's weird. But okay. It's Valentine's Day,
man. Catch me.
It's Valentine's Day, bro.
Into your arms.
You can't be like you're trying to jump your
Magic's
guest.
My boy. He would catch me. He'd catch me. Magic, would you catch me?
I would. Open arms. You'd be my Valentine.
My dude. Magic, welcome back to the show. Guys, if you're not familiar with Magic Internet Money, where the hell have you been? Friend of our channel, we appreciate you joining us. Magic, we've asked him on such short notice twice to join us, and he's never said no. So Magic, we appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. We know your time is extremely valuable, and we appreciate you sharing that time here with us on Valentine's Day.
No, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course. All right, Magic, real quick. Are you concerned CPI came in at 6.4 versus the forecast at 6.2? And do you think that changes anything at the Fed?
I actually wasn't that concerned with it. We were looking for longs this morning. We were looking at 21,561, looking along it up to about 22,270. So for us, the numbers weren't bad. I think the only thing that was really out of whack, it was 6.4 versus 6.2, but I think it was energy. and real estate was up a little bit. So not too concerning there. I think core came in where it was supposed to be. So I'm expecting to see 25 again in March, and probably I think they're 50-50 right now and another 25 in July. So that's market was kind of we're looking for this.
If you want to take a look, actually here, I'll just go ahead and jump right into it. Rocky, you pull up my laptop here. We have, I wish I could make this bigger here. Oh yeah, there we go. All right. So we have overall inflation coming at 6.4. This is on the yearly, so year over year. Food coming in at 10.1. Everything is up. There's the only thing that came down on the yearly is used car prices. Everything else is up.
Which guess what? Bad news, as used car prices are not going to have that big of a weight on the new basket of goods for CPI.
So yeah, I mean it's everything is up. Some of the the core is this one here, the 5.6. So this is our core inflation. This was supposed to be. They were hoping this was going to be lower. I think it was like 5.4, right, or something.
I thought I saw 5.2 or 3.
Okay. Anyways, not where they were hoping. I got a interesting. Here's a look at the. This is the last 6 or the last 7 prints. Here you can see on the right-hand side, you had the 6.4, but you can see the monthly change on these. And this is the monthly for year over year. And so, going back to November, we had came down to 0.2, 0.1, and then boom, we're back up to a full 0.5%. This one, we were hoping to flip this to be a negative. And then food, you can see here, back in July, we were at a 1.1, and now you can see that we were trending down as well. And then I think energy is the big catalyst here to having an unfavorable CPI number. As you can see with energy, we had back in November, we were coming down on the yearly, and now we actually increased the year over year price on energy.
That's a 5% flip, man.
Yeah, 5% flip here. So
I'd say energy was the big one, from what I know.
Yeah, this is huge, and you could see energy come out. It's all the way down. So this is we were trending in the right direction until this one here. So that's where we get a lot of it. And once again,
spending habits of consumers from 2020 and 2021. It would take, what people are spending the most money on, and they would move those into the new basket of goods. This year is the first year they're going to go to, instead of biannually, to annually. So every year instead of every 2 years. And so this is what it looks like. We haven't gotten the full basket of goods breakdown yet, but the new calculation, this is from The Hill, the new calculation will put more importance on the housing sector and less on used cars, and will include some methodological changes that could push headline number higher than economists had been expecting after a year of rapid price changes. A segment of the CPI called owner's equivalent rent will now account for more than a quarter of the total calculation, while housing overall will account for more than 44%. Weights are going to be updated annually now in the Labor Department's calculations, as opposed to every 2 years. And so again, they were expecting this to be at 6.2, but it came in at 6.4. Now, I'm no housing expert. I did cover some charts on my stream yesterday. But one thing that I thought was kind of interesting that I covered yesterday that I'd like to cover today as well is this. This is from the St. Louis Fed. This is rental vacancies. And so there was a correlation when I spoke about this yesterday to when vacancies drop, right? When there's less houses on the market, prices go up, right? And vice versa. And it's sort of a lagging indicator. And so now we're seeing, if you take a look at, oh, that's not good.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, he spilled his Red Bull
on my laptop. Oh God. Okay. Please don't fry. Please
all right. Here, we're going to go do a Shout out to the chat. So if you're new here, say hello so that way we can say hola back at you. And we have Matthew Turnbull. We bomb to you. Hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. There was also some interest. So there's also not only CPI this week, but tomorrow we have tomorrow we're going to have the next big data point will be retail sales. And so this comes out tomorrow at 8:30. So this is something that the Fed has also been taking a close eye at is, how much productivity is in the market. And a good way of measuring that is how much money consumers are spending. And then also another big one is that the New York Fed barometer, which, if you're not familiar with the U.S. Fed barometer, it's like a measure on the potential or probability of recession. They use a 3-month and 10-year Treasury bond yields to estimate the probability of recession. But they are saying that it's a 57% probability that we're going to go into a recession. And that is the highest since the 1980s. Yeah, it's
definitely, yeah.
What do you think, man? You think recession? Because now the New York Fed, at least the experts are saying that, the chance of recession is greater than the chances of not having a recession, over 50%. So
I do kind of agree with that. Historically, I don't have the chart in front of me, but historically, once they finish rate hikes, that's generally when you get your big drawdown. I think that's the case that happened in 2018 as well. So if we still have a few more rate hikes to go, it's not saying that it has to play out that way, but the risk is definitely elevated. I would be, as I've said before, if we're going to see something like that, it would come in the second half of 2023. And so that's kind of the timeline that I'm looking for if those events are going to unfold. And until then, just trading the market, trying to be nimble. That's it. Trying to take advantage of what opportunities are there because we are getting good opportunities and good volatility. I just think it would be wise that people pay themselves along the way a little bit.
Yeah. So this morning I saw the Bitcoin chart literally ripping. I mean, it went from it didn't even take its time. And I saw Bitcoin going from 21.5 or something like that to well over 22 in literally the span of what was it, like 10 minutes, not even 5 minutes. And so do you want to maybe pull up a chart on Bitcoin and let's maybe see, what's going on here? Because that was a massive candle, man. I was watching that thing climb literally every second. It was just, growing.
Yeah, no, definitely. So if you were looking at this from just a really basic standpoint of like support and resistance, I've obviously got a few other things on here. This is your support previously, right? You can see that it's identified. It's pretty good support until it's not. We've come down to the next swing high and next support locally, and you've come back up to retest old support, basically. So it's a back test of an old range as of right now. Now, how this move unfolded, this is something we were planning for pretty extensively on Sunday right before the game. I put out my members update, walked them through the trade setup. I did post it on my Twitter. So if people want to go see that, it's like 3 minutes long and it walks you through the trade setup because what you had done was on Friday, you made a low. It wasn't a very good low. Max, he's in the chat, but he had been looking at the order flow and he just wasn't convinced that the volume was enough for this to be an actual low. Same with when we came down to here, it still doesn't look great, but we have effectively swung failed this into support. And so now you could basically say that you have two ranges. And what you'll notice right here is that you haven't really taken any lows up until you make this move down. So that was nice to see. You made the new low, and then from there, you're actually targeting some statistical targets. So this is a mean reversion play on the weekly time frame, basically. So you have your weekly average from last week, so the prior session. It's actually 22,233. You also had some inefficiencies in price up here, single prints, which typically will get filled if they're entered. And this was the zone that we were looking for, essentially that if you ran the lows, reclaimed the range, you can go out to the 4 hour and you can see what was happening here. You got a perfect back test this morning. So if you were just identify where is demand coming in on a breaker level, it's this local low right here. And it was 21,561. That was the key level last night. Came into it this morning, and I misspoke this morning on our stream, and I just assumed that we had people shorting into it because the CPI data came in hot. However, this was actually a pretty good low. There was quite a bit of buying that took place. So lots of buyers entered the market here, not necessarily people getting trapped in short positions. The open interest on this move down locally was coming off pretty heavily, which is what you want to see. And then you want to see buyers entering and pushing this move up, which is what you saw. So it wasn't really that surprising to see it make this move so quickly. Now it becomes, a game of, can you reclaim this like 22,400 level? If we go out to the 4 hour, you can see that's actually the 6-month average of price from 2021 when we spent a little bit of time up here. So it's a level that I've kept on my chart because it's just relevant from a mathematical standpoint, and it gets things really, really well for support and resistance. So it is getting some play. Now, if you re-enter this range, I don't think it's fair to say that you're going to keep going. However, typically, if you have two ranges like this and you've deviated one and you re-enter the range, it's usually fairly bullish, and you would expect to see the point of control of the range, and then you would probably expect to see it rotated in full, which in that scenario looks like this. So you would be targeting about 22,800, and then you would be targeting up here at the highs again, all the way around like 23.5 to 23.7. So in terms of the news and how things have affected it, the charts were pretty clear. The levels have been really simple and easy to get, and this trade just offered up such good invalidation that it was an easy one to make. I did take this short up here as well. I'm in that position. I've closed out at the VWAP for the first take profit. So if we go to our daily average of, volume weighted average price, where do you expect to go after you've hit resistance? Well, you're going to revert back to the mean again. And that's what the VWAP is. It's just a mean reversion play at that point. So made for a really nice area to take some profits. And if the move continues lower, like if you break below this VWAP, that's when things start to look bad. So just like we know if 22.4 is flipped to support, we've got some easy trades to be had, in my opinion. There is also another trade that could be considered somewhat easy if we break below this VWAP, getting back into this range somewhere around like just under 22K. If you start holding that level as resistance, I would be looking all the way down to your prior month's average, which is below these local lows around 21.1 in that area. And if that does not hold, the gap fill is probably on deck, from sub 20K. And I'm kind of a proponent that if we make that move, I think we probably see lower prices and actually go to like 18,003 to 500 at that time. So for me, I'm just trading the range. I'm trying to be neutral, mainly because of the DXY right now. So the DXY is a really clean chart on the high time frames. You've got some really important macro highs right here from 2016 and 2017. And if you just threw a box on that, right here down to this other 12-month level that you have, and you just scooch it to the left, you can see this has been support and resistance on like the medium time frames of, like, we call it a medium, the 3-month chart. Resistance, resistance, support, resistance, resistance, support. So this has been a pretty major inflection point, which is, oddly enough, right around $1 even. So if this is breaking back above this 2016 and 2017 high, I would expect to see the dollar probably head to at least, I would say 104.775 is the first target, obviously, but I would expect it to go up, which would probably spell what we're talking about here for Bitcoin. So this is a good low, though. So if this completely reversed, I would be shocked off of this. I would like to see a little bit higher still. I'm still in the long. I'm also in a head short. So whichever one of those positions wins out is going to be the one that I hold for the medium term. Yeah, simple levels, in my opinion.
All right, just want to give a little love to our official hype man, Jimmy, gifting another 10 memberships. And so if you have not received one, make sure you enable the gifted memberships. So, and then also we do have a few new people here. I'd like to say Green said he's subscribed. So Green, we got Colin McDonald. We also have, let's see here, BG Free Sly Raven Crawler, Timmy313. To all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. Also, it is Valentine's Day. All I want for Valentine's Day is a like, so hit the like button. If you want to send me a Valentine's Day gift, I would appreciate that. If you want to send David a Valentine's Day gift, you got this nice laptop here. It is I love it. It has a very beautiful theme.
Guys, my
to
laptop is fine. I got good news.
Okay.
I saved it. My God, I lost my first laptop. I don't know, it got stolen or something. And then, so it was going to break my heart. All right. That was some great on the charts. I want to go back to some of these CPI numbers. So Someone I follow for a lot of like macro and housing is Charlie Bilello at Charlie Bilello on Twitter. So he put this out today. US CPI has moved down from a peak of 9.1 last June to 6.4 in January. What's driving that decline? Lower rates of inflation in new and used cars, gasoline, medical care, apparel, food at home, electricity, gas, and fuel. Notice we're missing one item, which we now know the housing is taking up 44%. That's not down. And so if we just expand this chart and take a look here. So this is in red, you have the June year over year. And in January, you have the in blue is the January year over year. Obviously, we've seen the biggest drawdown we've seen is in gasoline and fuel oil. What we have not seen a big drawdown in is shelter. We've actually seen the opposite in shelter and food away from home, also in transportation. And so, like Robin, you've said, we're going to see sub 2% come middle of the year around June.
July.
Do you still feel that we will see a 2% or lower?
Well, I do. And here's actually a good chart. If you want to pull up my laptop here. So you can see that with the consumer price index, we are trending down. But as we get closer to this July here, it's going to be on the year to year. It's more likely to, because of how high it was then, and the price, coming down. I think this is the best opportunity. April to July here. I'm telling you, as a CPI.
I don't know though. That's less food and energy, right? The blue line that's coming down.
No, the dotted line. So this is where we're at now. So you can see. So you had June 2022 here was the 9%. Sorry, I was over here for some reason, but so you had 9% here, and so I think this is gonna look a lot more like down here in this area, which would be the 2%. So this is 2% here. And so will we come down fast enough? Because the reason this was as high as it was because the year prior you were so low. And so when you're going on a year to year, a year over year, you get this big swing. So if this is the high, you go over another year, unless prices match exactly where it was. Remember, used car prices were out of control.
Yeah, but
the energy is the big wild card. If energy comes down,
but energy is coming down. It's the housing. Look at this. I'm gonna swap over mine. Look at this.
Yeah, you're right.
U.S. rents versus U.S. shelter. In orange is the shelter CPI. That thing has been going nothing but up since January or since November of 2021. So that's what I'm worried about. And, knowing that they're putting 44% of the overall CPI, right, the weight is going to shelter. We're seeing vacancies go down. And I was showing that before my laptop was spilled on. And so I don't know, man. We might see inflation go back to close to 7%, 7.5%. Of course, we're speculating here, but housing is a big one, right? Housing, energy kind of coming down. It did reverse last month over month, but shelter has continued to go up since almost.
But here's the thing: house prices are gonna come down. Now, and I'm talking about mortgage rates or the price of a home is gonna come down.
They are coming down.
Yeah, they are, and so in turn, you're also gonna see prices of rent coming down. Now, will it be fast enough to, in 4 months, come July? Will it be fast enough to get the CPI down?
And the other
that's
thing
the big question. But
the other thing that's not coming down is services inflation. And so, Magic, so we saw how Bitcoin reacted to the CPI number. How did the stock market, the SPY or the Dow or whatever you like to look at when it comes to traditional markets, how did that react and where are we at right now?
Yep, I'll pull up the SPX for you real quick here. SPX. So this is actually a pretty important day for me. As you guys know, I like to dabble in time distribution for price. So I'll go ahead and pull that up, and you can kind of look at the inflection points that we have and have had. So you're at a pretty big one right now. And, just to keep things simple, this quarter one low right here on like a monthly basis has been really, really important to hang on to. So it is going to be very important that price hangs on to this region of the chart. Because if you go out to like a monthly time frame, higher time frames, right, a little bit less noise, you can see that living below this level has not been good to traditional markets. So it is trying to do something different and get back above that. It does line up with other confluences. However, if you were to time out the whole move up from the Corona lows, basically, so you'd have to go back to 2020 for this, and you run what's called a Fibonacci time distribution on it. This has been the pivot points of the market in terms of what I've been working off of. So you can see you've got your local high here, your next local lows down here. You've got like a little local high here. This was a pretty decent one. This one was a little bit not quite as clean. It didn't quite get the pivot here. But then you've got today being the CPI day, being the 618, the next pivot in the market. So I'm looking at this as price is at support. So I'm never going to do anything like short support. It's just a bad thing to do. However, you've got to be looking at this as if this starts to roll over and give up some of these key levels, you still have not made any real higher highs. This is a high, lower high, and this is actually still a lower high. It's only a higher high in this mini uptrend right here. Okay, so you do need to see the stock market continue up. And if it does, I'm still looking at this area as a rejection zone. So even if it continues up over the next few days, I'm still watching this region of the chart and saying, man, this is a really big area to be getting back into. It's your macro gold pocket. It's also going to be your prior year's average. So the whole average of price from 2022. And that would need to get flipped for me to be like long-term bullish. But I think that more than likely sideways is going to be the name of the game for these markets. I think that could they go up a little more? Yes. But I think sideways overall could be the name of the game for the remainder of the year, where you're not making any higher highs, like all-time highs, obviously, and you're not really making lower lows either. And so, that lines up really nicely with what I have for Bitcoin, because I'm looking at Bitcoin, that I'm looking for 26,724 still. That was the number I gave you guys in December. It is the high time frame average of price for Bitcoin in the prior session of the last year. So for me, that's what I want to see. Just like I want to see this box tap still. So I'm still looking for a little bit of upside, and it is holding on to this support, and I'll get rid of these lines so that it's easier to see the price there, and we'll zoom in a little bit. And what you'll notice is your quarter one low has been really nice support and resistance, backed up by the yearly pivot just below it right here. So this little area is going to be absolutely key. But it was a whipsaw event. So if you go to you had a little bit of volatility for sure.
Okay.
You can see
all right.
Got everybody in, brought everybody out. So it took highs and lows basically. So I'm still pretty neutral on this, to be upfront with you.
It's like I said in the beginning of the show, it's kind of interesting that the traditional markets, fell, even though it was like 1.2 or 1.5%. We saw the crypto markets rally. And I want to bring on the next guest that's going to be joining us. CBTV, Crypto Blood. What up, Blood?
My guys.
What up?
How you doing, bro?
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Back to back.
How you doing, my friend? Welcome back. Hola. That was a good one.
I sent CB here the link to join us today.
Mm-hmm.
You know what his email handle was?
Holla.
No, it was Ola.
It's Holla. It's not Ola.
No. It's definitely Ola. I know it.
Okay, we're gonna make a holla for you. I'm gonna go make a holla one.
How do you spell holla? How do you spell holla?
The way it's spelled in his email.
Yeah, 2 L's. Ola is 1 L. 2 L's. Holla.
No. Because when you hear Ola, you know what I'm saying? There's an extra L in there, bro. I'm just
no, there's not. There's no extra L.
Hey, when you get your boy. You get your boy. I see
CB,
Magic is in the house.
Yeah,
up,
that's
Magic?
right. I was just gonna.
It's been a minute, man.
It has been. Our buddy is out of town. He's out in South America partying up. That's why we haven't been on the show. Debate crypto.
I know. I actually didn't know they canceled TA Thursday. Yeah, last week. I was like sitting around going, "What's going on?" I checked my phone. I was like, "Oh, I should have checked my text."
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, we're happy to have you both on today. I'm gonna start with you, CB. Are you so headline came in at 6.4, forecast is 6.2. Are you worried that it's going to change the Fed's course as far as maybe pausing or only doing 25 points? What's your like knee jerk reaction?
I think they're going to surprise the markets in the next month or so and go back up to 50 basis points.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah, I think they're going to
bold.
go up. Yeah, it is. I'm a bold man. Yeah, I think possibly a 50 basis point for sure, no pause. If we don't
Yeah.
go to 50, it's a 25 for a while. I can't see a reason why we don't go. We go to 0 or a pause. A pause I don't see is in the books.
Do you
0,
think-
absolutely not.
So what's your reasoning behind 50? Is it only
Or
the
negative.
CPI numbers, or is there something else you're looking at that you're thinking might push it to 50?
I mean, we saw unemployment come in last week. I think maybe that one was a rigged number, for old Sleepy Joe, right before the onion of the speech. So
onion.
yeah, I don't know if that is a true reflection, but I still see a lot of price inflation going on. I'm sure you guys do as well.
Yep.
So I just
Yeah.
don't see how they really. So what they're trying to do is play both sides of the fence. And I talked about this on my video yesterday. It's the biggest suckers rally in history. So they're trying to get as many people in before the actual fall occurs, because it's going to happen one way or the other. So we'll see, man. John Rubio, I don't know if you guys know him. He is an economist, and he had a great article on Zero Hedge that kind of discussed this basically corner they're in. They're in the corner, guys. If they try to lower interest rates, you're going to see inflation spike up. They try to stop, you're going to see recession and deflationary events. So it's damned if they do, damned if they don't. And that's why
Well,
I think it's a bad situation that we're in right now.
Well, I'm glad you brought up the onion and Sleepy Joe, because there's always my favorite go-to video here. Here we go, and you have
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to put him. Excuse me.
Wow. What in the world? The one I love is what did he say? You gotta
If
start
they try
thinking
to
about what
pass
you're
the-
thinking about. No, have you heard that one?
No.
Oh man, you gotta start thinking about what you're thinking about, Dave. It's important.
Yeah. Well, like he said, a lot of my women in my cabinet are women.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
he said that
they
one
are.
a lot. Of,
Yeah.
well, you know what? It isn't too far from the truth, because there's a lot of people switching what team they play on, if you know what I'm saying. So.
Yeah.
These
Let's
are
move on
facts.
before we
These
get
are
canceled here. So I want to share. All right. So CB thinks 50. Magic thinks 25. I think I am 70% 25, 30% 50 basis points. Robin, I believe he's pretty much on the 25 side, right?
Yeah,
He's on the
I think 25 is where it's
What's
at.
what's the market pricing in? Do you know?
Well, here's something interesting.
I'll
I want
pull
to
it up.
share.
Give me a second.
Here's what I want to share with you guys. All right.
Dot plot.
So this is what the futures market is pricing. So they're expecting in March, so right now we're at 450 to 475. So they're expecting 25 basis points in March. They're expecting another 25 basis points in May. They're expecting a pause in June, 25 in July, and then rate cut. Cut 25 in September, stay in November, and cut another 25 to bring it back to where we are, where we would be if there's another 25 basis point rate hike.
And then Rocco, switch over to my laptop there on the main screen.
And then that's when we rally, and then they do the 50. So that's what I'm saying. The 50 isn't going to. I'm not saying the 50 is the next. It's in this year. They're going to do another 50. That's all I'm saying.
This is the probability from the CME. So this has been pretty spot on so far. This number has moved in the past. So when CPI comes in unfavorable or better than expected, sometimes this will go from 90, 95 to 80, 75, whatever it is. So this does adjust. The next meeting is
March 22nd.
Yeah, so it's a little ways away, over a month. So this could flip, but the probability of the 50 basis point hike is at 9%. So it's not off the table. So it might be something to a 50 basis point hike, but more than likely at the moment we're looking at the Chicago Mercantile Exchange is betting a 90% chance of that.
Yeah,
So,
we're
And,
going to get a crazy rally if we pause, and we might. But I'm just saying, after the pause, and you see the markets rip, Bitcoin, crypto, equities, they're going to rip higher. He's going to have to come back in aggressively toward the tail end of the year, Q4.
You think that? So I was listening to Dave earlier, and he was talking about, if it starts going back up, do you think we'd see like a 1970s style reaction where they eased off the gas and then they came back in hard and a little bit too hard,
Exactly.
possibly?
Yes, that's exactly what Volcker did. So
I
people
think-
don't realize that he did that.
Now they've referenced a couple times that they don't want that to happen and that history, they don't want to repeat history. So I think that history will repeat itself. However, it's not going to be quite as V-shaped. And so instead of them seeing the CPI come down and all of a sudden they cut interest rates, I think maybe 6 months, maybe a little longer, where they're like, okay, they feel confident that it's the path. CPI is not gonna rally back up, and I think they're gonna have a crappy timing.
There's no way. There's no way. It's almost impossible for them to hike rates like they did in the 70s and 80s. There's no way. At some point,
No,
at some
no,
point,
not at
you're
all.
going to go bankrupt.
We're not
No, I
talking
think
about
what
like
Magic is
16%.
talking about. Yeah, go ahead, Magic. I'm sorry.
We're not talking about like a 16% rate or anything. We're talking about like, let's say they ease off the gas and their terminal rate's 5 and they only are 5.25 and they only hit 5, or maybe they hit 5.25. They ease off the gas and even cut rates by 25. Inflation starts coming back up. I would expect them to come back in and put it back in there with maybe 50 basis points or something like that. I don't think they'd go as drastic as another 75, but that would be detrimental to the markets to let people let things start getting out of that hand and then have to come in and start raising rates yet again on top of their terminal rate. That would be, it'd be bad. I don't think it would be good.
I agree. And one thing Jerome Powell is extremely aware of is how people perceive him, right? He wants the investors to, when he speaks, to take his words and believe it. And so their whole thing at the Fed now is, if we pause or cut too early and it was bad timing and inflation starts moving back up, the public will lose faith in what we say and what we try to do. And so I don't think we're going to see a pause. Well, we'll see a pause. I don't think we're going to see a cut until like we're 3-4 months in a row, at least stable around that 2% level they want to get to. If we see it, unless something with the treasury market starts to dry up, the liquidity starts to dry up as countries are hoarding gold and maybe they're not buying as many treasury securities from the US and they need the liquidity to keep the government going. That to me is the only way I see them printing, or if it's just a terrible recession / Great Depression where it's like, all right, high prices or I don't know, revolt from the people, the citizens, or whatever the worst case scenario might be there. So I think it's interesting. At the end of the day, we're all speculating and we really don't know what's going to happen. I want to highlight a few other important dates this week. So tomorrow you have the U.S. retail sales, which is expected to come in at 0.9. On the 16th, which is Thursday, we have the PPI numbers coming in, which is the producer price index. And then on the 16th, on the same day, is the unemployment claims, which is expected at 200,000. Now, this is one side where the Fed keeps looking at and saying the labor market's tight, labor market's tight. Jerome Powell in his speech a couple weeks ago said that the demand for workers to supply, there's a 5 million gap there. And so that's going to push inflation up because wages go up. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Do you guys have any thoughts on anything I kind of went over? Do you see any rate cuts in 2023?
I actually let's get the chat's opinion as well. So guys, if you think that we're going to get 25 basis points next,
No, there's already a poll for that.
Okay,
Yeah.
then what do you want to ask the chat?
I want to ask the chat, do you guys think we'll see a rate cut in 2023? Will we see a rate cut in 2023? Put a 1 for yes, put a 2 for no.
Will we see a rate cut?
Rate cut in 2023.
This year?
This year.
I think so.
You think so?
So a 1?
1 for yes, 2 for no.
I'm putting a 1, bro. They're gonna cut.
You think they're going to cut rates?
That's right.
too.
You think so too, Magic?
I don't think they will.
CB, I don't think so.
they'll have it. I think
No
that's
way,
why.
Jose.
I think that's what they meant by they didn't want to repeat the 70s. This isn't 1970, but one of the mistakes they made was they eased off the gas. They said we're going to get to a terminal rate that they find fit, and then they're going to keep it there until things are under control. So I don't see a rate cut coming. But
I don't
as you said, we don't have a crystal ball. If the markets, like you were saying, like liquidity is drying up and they have to do it, they might. And I think what you'll see, you were talking about like revolt. I think you'll see signs of that in the jobs data. You have good job market data right now that can change. And if it does start changing, and then the economy's not as strong, jobs don't look as good, that's where things start to tumble over. Housing market's going too. It's like those are the things that we don't have data on yet, and we can't really predict. We can only kind of just plan for it, but we know that if we start seeing those go,
a lot of twos. So am I the only one here that thinks that we're gonna have a rate cut, man? I'm telling you, the CPI is gonna come down in July. This thing's gonna come down in July just because it's a year-over-year metric, and maybe it won't hit quite at 2, but by the end of the year, you know what? They're gonna try to stimulate the economy. You got Christmas coming around, and by the end of the year, maybe November, maybe October, they're gonna 0.25. They're just gonna give us a little taste. They're gonna lower that heat just a touch.
Nice try. Yeah, I don't mind.
I'll say it. Chef Rob.
Yeah, that's right.
So I concluded the poll. So with the new CPI data, what will be the next Fed rate hike? So 66% of you said 25 basis points, 26% of you said 50, 3% said 75, and 3% of you think that we're going to see a pause. And so I think 25, maybe 50.
Yeah, the next rate hike is definitely 25. But I'm just saying by the end of the year, I think we're going to get a 50.
I thought you said the next hike is 50.
No. I don't think the next one's 50. No way.
Okay.
No way. But I think the pause is going to just... markets are going to rally so hard, bro. It's going to be insane.
Yeah,
so
and the Fed is still talking about a soft landing. Will we see it? Who knows? I want to move into our first piece of news for today, and here we go. So this is from CoinGape. Bitcoin reversal after U.S. CPI data set to trigger 25K ? Bitcoin is now forming a bear trap situation after a sudden reversal as the US dollar index, aka the DXY, recovered from highs. This is now leading the speculation that Bitcoin reaching the 25K is not too far from reality in the short term. Despite not reaching the expectations, the January index data marked the smallest 12-month increase since the period ending in October 2021. So, Magic, I'm going to ask you first. Do you agree with this article? Do you think 25,000 is not too far off because of what the Dixie's doing, because of as far as the January marked the smallest 12-month increase? Are people overreacting to just a headline number? Do you think 25K is coming, or what are your thoughts on this article?
Yeah, so my macro targets are still actually up above 25. So for me, and that's all based on mean reversion. It's all based on average of price of last year. I know I've repeated that a million times, but it's one of those things where I haven't seen anything to make me change my high time frame bias on that. So when I say things like that, it's not because I'm just uber bullish. It's just because that's generally how markets trade, and I'm just trying to trade with the highest probabilities. Now we're at such a point in that move up that I don't think it's wise to be taking unnecessary risks up here to catch just the last remainder of that move. Because, as Blood said, once you get up there, it could be a bull trap. And to show you what the DXY is doing, for anyone to keep it simple, we go over this in the mornings. You just go down to the daily here. You had this zone up here that was at the highs. And right here, I believe this was basically your resistance here locally, along with high time frame we went over earlier. Now this little blue box here, all this is you established a range down here, and you had a breaker level right here at 102.654. So you've come back and you've back tested a range. So as of right now, the DXY is sideways, which to me is good for markets. As long as the DXY is ranging in here, Bitcoin can rally and do what it wants, right? But the moment this resolves, whether it's to the downside or the upside, is going to really determine what goes on in risk on markets, in my opinion, for the foreseeable future, because if this rallies up, I think it's not going to be a small rally. I think you make a pit stop and then you start heading up to some of these broader targets. And that doesn't mean a new higher high on the DXY, like as an overall, I think the high is in or likely in. I think that you just see some of these mean reversion plays on this now, just like we saw on risk on assets. They're all doing a mean reversion to the upside, and the DXY is eventually going to do the same thing. So while you're sideways here, it's safe to trade and safe to, be like, okay, I got some intraday longs, maybe a couple like, intra-week longs where you're swinging it a little bit. But realistically, am I buying here for like the long-term, like a hodl position? I'm really not at 22,000. I accumulated that position lower when we started seeing the deviation below 17.5. That's when I was looking to get long. 16.6 is that position that I've shared online, I think, on my Twitter.
Oh.
So yeah, that's how I'm treating it.
So the Dixie is, and here's the thing, and guys, when you're looking at prices and charts, and you're trying to extrapolate what the price of Bitcoin can do, it's important to keep an eye on things like the Dixie and the stock market and stuff, because they're all correlated. CB, what do you think? Do you agree with the article? Do you think 25K is incoming? I've heard a lot of TA people say if we break above 25 and it's a solid breakout, 30K is next. There's really nothing between 25 and 30. Are you in that camp? I know you said it's a suckers rally, but can this suckers rally keep going to 30K?
It sure can. Absolutely. I don't put it past them. Again, they're going to pull as many people as they can into this market. And this is just not crypto. This is equities as well. So I think there's definitely upside potential here. We just got to watch the rest of the data that comes out this week. I think will kind of set the tone for the rest of the month. So let's see what happens. I don't try to predict the markets. I just flow with it. Whichever direction it goes, I follow. And then as the trend turns, I go the other way. So
trade with the trend, they say.
Trade with the trend is your friend, my friend.
Trend is your friend, yes. And you know who's not my friend? Robin. Robin, what are your thoughts on this 25?
I had a Valentine's Day card for you, bro.
No, you didn't.
You ain't gonna get it now.
You're a liar. 25K. Do you agree with what CoinGape said in this article?
25K, more like 30K. That's where I'm going, man. I don't think this thing's gonna stop. And in all seriousness, I truly believed. Here it is. It's the code, baby.
That's where we're going, ladies and gents. Up, up, down, down, left, right, left, right. AB start. I don't know what AB start. Magic probably knows it's the AB pattern, right? The AB.
See, what you have wrong here, what you have wrong here is that this is a co-host show and it's select start for 2 players, man. I'm just saying, don't forget this. Don't forget the select. The select is the code for both people.
The good old Nintendo, man.
You're right.
The good old Nintendo.
That wasn't even designed to be a cheat code. So what it was so the developers could test it out, because they would just write the game out, and so the way they could test it was to put in a code so they could have enough lives to play through the game, so that way they could test it. And so that's how the code originated. It wasn't like they were trying to add an Easter egg or a nugget. Little contra.
Learn something new every day.
There you go, your boy here. You want to learn about crypto? You want to learn about video games? Call of Duty actually got the new upgrade coming out today too. Just give me a heads up on that.
Wow.
Yeah, new map.
Thanks for letting us know that. You guys brought up code. Speaking of code,
hold on, pull up my laptop. Look, this. Pull up my laptop. Look at this. $30,000. Look, that's where we're going right there.
What is that?
Oh, that's where we're going.
30,000.
Interesting.
But what is that?
Don't worry about what it is.
It's just a picture.
That's right. You need more?
No.
Okay,
that's totally great. Yeah. You guys talking about code. Well, speaking of code, there's someone who broke the bro code, and that is Circle. Mm-hmm. We're gonna shift this conversation.
I didn't even give you my reason on 30,000, but okay, that's fine.
Well, you keep going.
I got sidetracked. Get on with your article. Circle sounded the alarm. Let's go.
All right, Circle. They broke the bro code, as they were snitching, apparently. So, guys, just real quick, just to give you some, if you haven't been following the news, Paxos was essentially sued by the SEC and forced to stop minting and issuing the BUSD stablecoin, the Binance stablecoin. And It's saying they're offering an unregistered security, which, for the love of God, I cannot understand how anyone could think they're going to make a profit off of buying a stable coin, right? So apparently, Circle, the company behind USDC, sounded the alarm on Paxos and told the New York Department of Financial Services that Binance's stablecoin wasn't fully backed. New York's top financial regulator is investigating stablecoin issuer Paxos, and according to a new report, it was rival stablecoin issuer Circle that sounded the alarm. Bloomberg reported on Monday that Circle tipped off the NYDFS in fall of 2022, so a few short months ago, complaining that blockchain data revealed Binance did not have enough reserves to back up the BUSD token it had issued through Paxos. Now, Paxos is the one that issues the token, if I'm correct. And I know Binance does their own Binance pegged BUSD, Binance pegged Ethereum, Binance pegged whatever. But from my understanding, BUSD, not Binance pegged, but BUSD was minted and controlled and held at Paxos, which is a regulated bank. And I believe they're part of the bank charter as well. NYDFS instructed Paxos to stop minting BUSD due to concerns about its relationship with Binance. It has been reported that the OCC may ask Paxos to withdraw its application for a full banking charter. In my opinion, there is and Nick Carter put this out on Twitter, Operation Choke Point. They are they know they can't ban crypto, right? Because you'd have to essentially ban code and ban the internet. But they're cutting.
We've banned code now. We've banned code. It's very
Tornado
possible.
Cash, right? But people are still using it, right? People are still using it. So
Yes, absolutely.
they're trying to cut the head off the snake, which is the fiat on and off ramps. If we can't get any banks to work with crypto companies, right? And crypto's not accepted as payment, what are we doing?
We're going to go to the Bitcoin ATM machine. I got one at my gas station across the street from my house.
Okay, you can't withdraw money, like real money
Yeah, you
from
can.
it, can you? You can?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can.
Well,
I think you can.
Then. Okay.
Yeah.
Magic, I want to ask you, first of all,
And there's actually like a ghetto looking pawn shop over here in Vegas, a few blocks from here.
which one?
They buy Bitcoin there. I went in there to go see if I could do an interview. And then I completely
We should try to take them an actual coin that
dude.
just has
I
V on it.
scratched the idea. Look. There's this Bitcoin shop out here in the ghetto, and it says buy sell Bitcoin. And I went in there, and it looked like one of those dollar loan centers. You know what I mean, like those check cashing places. And I was like, hey man, I'm Cincinnati Crypto, and he was like, oh yeah, another YouTube guy. He's like, and he asked his friend in the back. He was like, Fingers. He's like, yeah.
Fingers?
The guy in the back, his name was Fingers. And so there was like some drug addicts hanging out in the lobby, like itching themselves. Like, and I was like, man, all right, never mind. I'm scratching this. So, but if you want to sell your Bitcoin, there is a way to do it. You don't have to go through
There's
the
a
bank.
way
That's all I'm
for
saying.
you to get robbed if you want to sell your Bitcoin, essentially, is what Rob is saying.
Magic, let me ask
fun.
you. Obviously, I think we're all in agreement here that there's no way a stablecoin is a security, right? I mean, the whole thing with the Howey test, one of their prongs, their 4 prongs, is an expectation of profit. Does this tell you, Magic? Does this tell you that the SEC and our regulators are just headhunting crypto by any means necessary, or is there a larger agenda at play?
I do think that they are kind of headhunting crypto. It's to the point now. I mean, I say this, and sometimes I take the stance of you almost can't blame them after FTX and some of the things that went down with scandal wise, but they're looking for any reason, it seems like, to start investigating and getting involved in this. And I'm not the biggest fan of how they're going about it. I don't think this is how you regulate an emerging market personally, but at the same time, I hate to say it, but they're going to do what they're going to do. And then it's going to be up to the courts to decide, what is and what isn't at that time. So I'm just kind of letting the process play out. It's a painful process, but yeah, they certainly are kind of headhunting at this point.
What about you, CB? What's your take on this? Are you just upset as I am as far as, they're saying, oh, unregistered security, it's a freaking stable coin. What are your thoughts?
I just say blame
China.
That's what we should do. Just blame China. That's easy. Easy scapegoat right there. We're done. All right, guys. I'll see you later.
China.
Hey, China's they're back to work, man. You know, their GDP is forecasted to come over 6%.
And so are their balloons coming over to the U.S. apparently as well.
We saw a Valentine's Day balloon.
Too, Rob.
We saw a Valentine's Day balloon floating outside on our way in, and I had my phone out and everything, bro. I was trying to record this thing. I was like, "They're back."
You have your gun out. You should have had your gun out.
I should have just.
Robin doesn't have a gun. Robin doesn't believe in guns.
I got this hammer though. Hey, Rocco, pull up my laptop. Look,
we call guns hammers around here, so applicable.
Like this is the Bitcoin store here. So right next to the furniture outlet, you have Bitcoin Central. Buy and sell for cash.
So are they essentially a market maker then?
Yeah.
No, they're essentially a money
Fingers
launderer.
sets the order book
very soon.
Why isn't the SEC after that place? Right? They're selling unregistered securities.
You just triggered them.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dave.
But do you agree with Magic that at this point, you know, there's a saying, right? First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, then you win. Do you think that that's kind of playing out, right? Are we in they're fighting us stage? Because half of these lawsuits and the whole staking thing with Kraken and this Gary Gensler going after a freaking stablecoin issuer, right? Do you think this is just that, like, they're just trying to cut the head off the snake? They're trying to sour what we need as far as infrastructure in the crypto space, whether that be fiat on and off ramps, whether that be banks, stablecoin issuers. Is that what's happening, or is there something bigger at play?
Yes, that's an aspect of it for sure. But in addition to that, you have, I think what they're trying to do is set up Circle / Coinbase / USDC, whatever you want to call them. Circle
BlackRock
is behind it / BlackRock. Yeah, they're setting them up to be the de facto CBDC. That's what it is, guys. I'm telling. I've said this for about 7 months now. I said it's the writing's on the wall. I see how they're lining up the chips. I see how they're favoring USDC over USDT. Even though USDT does also work with the governments, there was a video that I found of a regulator or I think a lawyer that was exposing that very fact that USDT actually works hand in hand with the DOJ, I believe. But what they're doing is just picking USDC to be the de facto CBDC for the United States. And so they're just going to cut the heads off everyone else and keep it moving.
What about you, Rob? Same question.
What was the question?
Or they head on to crypto.
Thank you, Magic. Thank
There you go. All right. That's right. So they're going after everybody, right? I think everybody's in the crosshairs. You have staking. You have obviously what happened with FTX. People want a remedy, and which is funny because the people that are calling for the action are saying that people lost their money or people that had no exposure to crypto, right? The ones that are beating the drum the loudest are the people that had no exposure, lost nothing, but yet they're the ones standing up saying, we need to do something. But yet, majority of the people that lost money, they're simply saying, hey, can you do something about these exchanges not having any transparency? And so if you're going to regulate the industry, you're going to hold people accountable, then why don't we just start with the exchanges being a little bit more transparent? Hey, you want to operate in the US? What are you doing with customer funds? Like, that's the question, that's the statement in the question I'm not seeing from any of this congressional debates, from any of these Gary Gensler studio filmed HR videos. Like, I'm not seeing any discussion on bettering the problem that was front and center was the misappropriation of customer funds. And we know that majority of the people here in the States that have exposure to crypto and globally have their crypto on exchanges. That's just the fact of the matter. We could beat this drum over and over again about not your keys, not your crypto, have your own wallet. Sure, we can say that until we're blue in the face, but realistically is that most people keep their money on exchanges. That's just the facts. And if you want to prevent the most amount of damage out here and you're a regulator trying to regulate the industry, then why don't we have some transparency in that exact field? And they're going after everything that isn't that. They're going after stable coins. They're going after staking. They're going after celebrities. It's like, dude, just put that on the back burner. If you want to make that a mission, go ahead. I don't agree with it, but at least address the problem that is the most front and center right now, and they're just ignoring it, man.
You know, if you guys had any, if you've had any inkling or if you have any doubt that the government and some politicians are after just headhunting crypto, here's all you need to see. This is all you need to see. And I know we showed this yesterday, but I think it's extremely important.
All right, a bombshell report tonight about how Elizabeth Warren, Senator Elizabeth Warren, and her office coordinated testimony with the Security and Exchange Commission ahead of a Senate hearing. The Heritage Foundation Oversight Project, of which I'm associated, through a FOIA request, obtained emails from Warren's office to the office of Chairman Gary Gensler 2 days before his Senate testimony back in September of 2021. The email from Warren's economic policy advisor includes a list of questions. Get this, a list of questions that Senator Warren planned to ask, along with suggested answers for the chairman of the SEC. The advisor also wrote, quote, "Let me know if you're okay with the questions as currently written." 2 days later, she sent a follow-up, quote, "Let me know if it's looking like the chair has any issue with the framing of the questions. Definitely don't want to put him in a tough spot," end quote. And it appears
That's it, man. Mic drop. That's it. You have, I believe she's the chair of the Financial Oversight Committee. The freaking chairperson of one of the largest subcommittees or committees in the U.S. is colluding with the chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission,
Who is testifying under oath.
And these are the two people, right? Elizabeth Warren is trying to push crypto regulation into the hands of the SEC and Gary Gensler. And if this doesn't tell you that there is collusion and corruption and headhunting happening in the US government against crypto, I don't know what will. And so I'm going to leave it at that. I don't know if you guys have any comment on this, but if not, we'll just.
I do want to get just a little love to the chat, guys. If you're new here, say hello so we can drop an hola back at you. And so we have, let's see here. I got Vindaloo, Crypto, Redbot, Clay, Wise Tree, Crypto No Fud, Ronald, Jacob, Luke, T-Bone, Corey, Frosted Flake. We got Raymond, Cody, Slappy, Dale W, Dr. Death, Benson, Bentley, and Round Earth. Hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto.
There is actually some good news going back to the whole stablecoin security thing with Paxos. We saw Kraken, a lot of people are like, well, why didn't you fight back? Guys, it's extremely expensive and time consuming to try to fight the SEC. Look at Ripple. It's been 2 years, over $100 million. Not a lot of people have that kind of money, especially in the bear market.
Can we talk about Ripple? Because,
Yes,
guys, I've been pounding the pavement saying that Ripple was done. I said it when, Library lost against the SEC.
Hold on,
I said it even
Ripple's
before that.
done. Hold on, man. I'm gonna have to push back.
XRP's done, man.
Okay, we're gonna have
XRP's done.
Rocco, get the
They're gonna
verses
lose.
ready.
Valentine's Day?
Get the verses ready.
On
Rocco.
Valentine's Day?
They're gonna lose, bro.
Explain yourself. Explain yourself.
How can you not see them losing and seeing the writing on the wall?
How can you see them losing?
Every person that goes up against SEC, they lose.
Okay. Think about this. You said their victory against Library. Was it a victory, though? Was it a victory when the SEC admitted that these secondary sales were not securities?
Doesn't matter. They found.
What does that
guilty.
mean? That means the
They're
token
shutting
is not a
down.
security.
No, man. The verdict was it was. It was an unregistered security.
Yeah. The verdict was. The verdict was that.
The verdict was
Yeah.
it was a security. Then
Yeah.
Brockwell and Deaton
Doesn't
came back
matter.
into court as amicus curiae, whatever that's called. And the SEC agreed, and they admitted that
They
the
didn't reverse it.
secondary sales were
The
not
They didn't
secondary
reverse it,
sales,
Jay.
but the
Yeah, they
original
didn't reverse
sales were deemed a security. The secondary sales were not.
okay. And so all
So
they
they
can
were
do
still
is go
found
back
guilty. They were still found guilty of selling
They
a
still have to
security.
shut down.
initially. But if that thing now is no longer a security, what
It's
are they going
still
to
a
do?
security. The
no,
original
no,
sale
no,
of the
Jay.
token was a security. The original sale of the token was a security. The secondary was deemed not a security, which they likened
Yeah.
the secondary sale to to XRP. And so they took that exact issue and then they were like, well, it is a security, just not the secondary sale.
So you're going to see XRP lose the first sale scenario, man.
Okay, they might get sued
Now,
on their
that doesn't mean it's the
ICO,
end-
but
Listen, It doesn't
XRP,
mean
the way
that-
it is now and being bought and sold and traded, if they're going to go based off of the library case, which should be a landmark case moving forward, then those sales, the current sales, the back and forth, those are not securities.
bro,
So-
if they deemed a stable, you just said it. If they deemed a stable coin a security, god damn it, we're going to lose. It's over.
Well, that's why we have judges in the court system, my friend. It's not just one person. It's not just
but
Gary
who
Gensler.
appoints the judges?
The presidents do.
And who appointed
federal judges, the
appointed
president's
SEC commissioner?
The presidents do.
Oh. Same
But
president.
And the president is weekends at Bernie, right?
But dude, no, yeah, but a lot of these federal judges were put in place by Donald Trump, which both sides.
I will say this. I will say this. As vocal as I've been that XRP and Ripple and this lawsuit is looking extremely favorable, I am 100% in the camp that could go south at any point in time. This is one department of government overseeing another department of government, and there is friends and buddies all through there. And wouldn't surprise
here's the
me.
thing, Dave. It doesn't mean that like XRP goes to zero. I don't buy it. I don't support it because, just for the reasons of it's a banker coin, but I'm not saying it's going to zero. I'm just saying that people in the United States won't be able to purchase it on a registered exchange within the United States. It'll still
think
trade
XRP 's
outside
gonna
the United States. Okay, we'll see.
Either they're going to
see.
win, straight up win, or they're going to win through a settlement, which settlement would include XRP not being labeled security.
They're going to pay a settlement. No, they're going to lose and pay a settlement because it's the SEC, which means steal every coin. That's what they do.
I like that actually.
That's
Never
actually
heard that
pretty
one.
good.
That's a good one. I do have some good news regarding Paxos. So what I was saying before, CB wanted to fight with me on Valentine's Day, which CB, I thought we're cool, man. Valentine's Day, bro. Show some love.
We are, bro. We are. We're
just kidding.
We're good.
Just kidding. All right. So people were saying Kraken didn't fight back, right? And to what CB says, SEC rarely loses. Their win rate is over 80-something%. But Paxos is fighting back. So this is from the Twitter, Paxos Twitter. They issued a statement that says, Paxos, the leading regulated blockchain and tokenization infrastructure platform, received a Wells notice from the SEC on February 3rd. It states that the staff of the SEC is considering recommending an action alleging that BUSD is a security and that Paxos should have registered the offering of BUSD under the federal securities laws. And then Paxos said this: Paxos categorically disagrees with the SEC staff because BUSD is not a security under the federal securities laws. This SEC Wells notice pertains only to BUSD. To be clear, there are unequivocally no other allegations against Paxos. Paxos has always prioritized the safety of its customer assets. BUSD issued by Paxos is always backed one-to-one with US dollar-denominated reserves, fully segregated and held in bankruptcy remote accounts. We will engage with the SEC staff on this issue and are prepared to vigorously litigate if necessary. Robin, how important is it for Paxos to stand up and fight back? And what are the implications if they don't?
I mean, I don't know if you can fight back. I mean, I know they're trying, but everyone just folds, man. With the exception of Ripple, if we want to go back down that rabbit hole. But I mean, I think that they stopped minting BUSD. And I don't think that they're going to go through a long, drug out legal battle on issuing BUSD. It's not their bread and butter anyways. Might have a B in there, but it ain't their bread and butter. Sorry. Right? I mean, how big of a part of their business is it?
Of us as BUSD?
Yeah, in Paxos. But here's the thing. It is the point. This is about business. And if you're looking at going through a long drug out court battle, I'm sorry, they're not going to go through lawsuits and litigations and lawyers and all the negative press that comes with the lawsuit. They're not going to go through that so they can mint BUSD.
Stablecoins are the biggest, or going to be the biggest business in crypto. Think about it. Like, you're going to see the most transactions done in stablecoins in the future as we go forward.
If they just remove but that's not their bread and butter. That's not where they make their money. If you look at Paxos's holdings, or what they they have their own stable coin. I'm sure that's probably their number one business. And then what other coins are they minting there, right? I'm not exactly sure on what they're holding, but
I'm looking at it from a more macro, so to say, right? A bigger picture scale of, all right, if they fold and they don't fight back, who's next? Is USDT?
But they're only folding that sector. They're only folding the BUSD. And it's not even their own freaking coin. They're not even their own project. And so why go through the headache and the black eye and the stain of trying to fight the SEC when you can just be like, you know what, we're not gonna sell this one. I mean, imagine if you had a retail store and all of a sudden your whole store is getting sued because you're offering one product, and all you got to do is not offer that product and just offer the other 20 that you have. That's all I'm saying, man. And it's they have they have the Paxos Gold, Paxos USDP, and obviously BUSD here. So I mean, I don't know, man. I'm just saying that I would cut, if it was me, I'd cut my losses. I'd be like, you know what, screw that, man. We'll just.
Who's to say they're not going to go after the other two, the USDP and the Paxos Gold? Who's to say?
Well, at that point when that happens, now it's time to fight. But
what are your thoughts?
P now. USDP, that's pushing P.
Magic, what are your thoughts? Do you think it's worth? Are you agreeing with Robin? Do you think it's not worth it for them to fight, or I don't think it's
worth to fight it? To be honest with you, I agree, because unless you have assets like the company Ripple itself does, that is one thing that you can actually say about them is they have a large cash balance. Like, they don't really have any debt. They've got the resources. They can fight this battle, but most places most projects aren't going to do that. They're better off settling, not spending that money, and taking the settlement. Like, that would be what I'd advise.
That's
but
sad, man. That is sad.
I hate saying that. It's just the way you got to think you're going against the federal government at this point.
No, I get it.
But with that said, if it was their bread and butter, if it was the Paxos itself, token, like what they're, they designed their whole platform for, they would defend themselves. But they're offering services for another blockchain. Why go through all of that for somebody else? That's all I'm saying. It just like you said, how much money are you going to make off stablecoins? And I know that's they make their money off of stablecoins. We interviewed the lady from Paxos, and she said they make 3 to 4% on a 90-day bond. And so they make money. They're taking a loss, but it's only a fraction of the bigger picture. And so if their core business is not in jeopardy of lawsuit, then they just cut that one and call their losses on that one and proceed with business.
Honestly, if I was the U.S., right, we've had the Treasury Security, Janet Yellen, Treasury Secretary, come out and say she worries that liquidity will dry up in the Treasuries market. Well, if you just make some favorable regulation or whatever you want to call it, let these stablecoin issuers come in, maybe have stipulations that, hey, X% has to be in Treasury securities.
Have you heard Janet Yellen speaking? Oh
no, I'm saying the regulators, right?
I'm
the
liking
people that
blood today, man. I am liking blood. Get at him. Get
I
at him.
think that we're going to have to see the rates go up a little higher, and then we will then determine from there what we should do. I'm going to print more money until I die, which may be tomorrow.
I'm not saying Yellen is going to come out. I'm saying what she has said with issues with liquidity in the treasuries market. If you let these stablecoin issuers come in, Tether's got a $70 billion market cap. If 60% of that was in US treasuries, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of liquidity. And so I think like there could be so much opportunity, not just in the stablecoin space, but for taxes, for innovation, for building infrastructure and energy. If they are just work with these crypto companies, the miners, the centralized entities, and stop saying, come in and register. The forms are online. Complete BS. Anyways, so there's a little more, which by the way, guys, just real quick. Well, let's give some love to the chat. Robin, let's give some love.
All right. So once again, if you're new here, say hello. I've got a few new people here on deck. We got Married as F. We got Jose M. Sanpel, Brewski, Skids Up, Crypto Mike 68, and then Izzy. So to all of you, hola, welcome to Sin City Crypto.
All right, we are going to let both of our guests go. We've kept
loose on Valentine's Day.
We've kept both of you longer than we said we're going to keep. So, guys,
see how you guys say hola for hi, and I say holla for bye.
Damn, hola.
It all works together, guys.
Guys, please go support the guests that join our show. Their description to their YouTubes is the link to their YouTube is in the description of this video for both Magic Internet Money and Crypto Blood. Also, go follow them on Twitter. Huge shout out, Magic, Crypto Blood. Thank you guys so much. We look forward to bringing you guys back on again. And any parting words before we let you go? Crypto Blood, we'll let you speak first if you have any parting words.
Holla.
Hola. What about all right? Let's let CB go here. Let's let CB.
Right,
CB
guys.
was love you, brother. Thank you so much.
All right, peace.
All right.
All right, Magic. Before we let you go, any parting words, my friend?
Oh man, I always wanted to just say thanks for having me on, and I'm always blown away by your guys' chat. So shout out to everyone that's here in the middle of the afternoon in a bear market, taking in crypto content and trying to learn. That's all I'll say.
Let's go, man. Our community is amazing. Guys, go support the guests, please. Go support Magic. Go support Crypto Blood. They come on our show. They ask for nothing in return. So the least we can do for them is show our support. And so, Magic, thank you again. We will see you, I believe, in 1 or 2 weeks. And so definitely excited for that. Yep. And so we'll see you next time, my friend. Take care.
Have a good one.
See you guys.
Man, we always keep our guests longer than we tell them. I feel bad sometimes, but the conversations just get so good. Man. All right. I want to talk.
You were on fire today, huh?
What's
You were
up?
on fire. You were on fire today.
We're on
Good.
fire, bro.
Juicy Valentine's Day.
Juicy V-Day. You know why? Because I'm getting all my juice out because I still haven't bought my wife anything for Valentine's Day.
Hey,
You didn't buy her anything?
Now is your
Nothing.
time. Hey, this is your time. That's the poll. What are you going to buy in?
So
An Ethereum?
I know I'm going to take a beating when I get home.
It's okay.
Not a physical beating. You two, please don't.
It's ideal to buy a Valentine's Day gift before Valentine's Day.
Correct.
Or after.
This is
after.
true.
You really wanna
We
show
also
Jerry.
share. We also the next build. The next elite. The next spot over is a flower shop.
Yes,
Literally,
but those
the
flowers
next
are
door.
$600. And I'm
Apparently-
sorry. I love my wife, but I'm not spending $600 on flowers. I'm sorry. Not yet. Not yet.
Then you
I
get
don't
the
make that kind
beating.
of money yet.
Hey,
right?
You should have learned by now.
Well, yeah, I should have. You're right. But my wife loves me no matter if I get her a present or not for Valentine's Day.
Oh,
I would like
Yeah?
to call her.
Yes,
Yeah.
my wife is a
That's
rare
right.
specimen. My wife is the bomb. She's the best.
All right.
All right. Let's talk about Gary. Gary, of course, speaking of Gary the Gun. So this is news from the Bitcoinist.com. SEC to propose new rules for services rendered by crypto firms. So this article reads, in a new development, the SEC now targets crypto companies, even those with operational licenses like Paxos. The regulator is working on a new proposal this week to determine the type of products and services digital asset firms will offer. So are we going to get some of the clarity that we've been begging for? That remains to be seen. Recently, Bloomberg reported that the SEC plans to vote on a new proposal that will impact the operations of all crypto-related firms licensed as custodians. The rule could make it hard for crypto companies to hold digital assets on behalf of their clients. I have said this time and time again. After FTX went down, there was a trust void. There was a void of trust from consumers to the crypto centralized entities. And guess who's going to come in and fill in that trust void? It is the bank down the street from your house. It's Chase. It's Bank of America. It's Wells Fargo. It's TD Ameritrade. It's Charles Schwab. It's Morgan Stanley. It's these companies. They're going to make it so hard for your traditional crypto exchange or crypto custodian to be properly registered that all that money, all the custodial money is going to flow to your bank. Now, is that a bad thing for the average consumer? Probably not. But is it a bad thing for the crypto space as a whole? Yes, it is. And then just one more thing I wanted to read. The regulator is set to vote on Wednesday, February 15th, so tomorrow, on rule changes regarding the digital assets firm services. After that, a 5-member panel will initiate the voting process to determine the next phase for the proposal. If the commission implements the new rule, it will impact heavily on the major clients of custodians, including private equity firms, pension funds, hedge funds, and others. Also, the regulator could conduct some impromptu audits on the financial firms regarding their custodial relationships at any time. Rob, are you nervous for this proposal? Are you nervous for whatever they got coming down the pipeline here?
Nervous? No. I think I'm starting to grow numb to the SEC and their overreach and their enforcement by bullying people and not having clear registration, as they say, come down and get registered. So the path to appeasing the SEC is cloudy, and yet they just go after anybody and everybody, no matter what services it is, whether it's staking or stable coins or celebrity just simply promoting a project. You can say, hey, the project was no good, and yeah, that is true, but I think that their resources are just misplaced. And as I mentioned, man, if you're going to regulate the industry, why not start with the obvious problem where an exchange doesn't tell you what the hell they're doing with your crypto? Like, can we just start there, man? That's all. It seems so logical. And that's like having your toilet is overflowing. There's water just pouring everywhere. And instead you're trying to fix the sink. You got the plumber in the house and you're like, hey man, you know what? Can you fix the sink? He's like, well, what about sink? And then you're like,
sir,
right.
If I don't fix,
he's like, and when you're done with the sink, can you work on the sprinklers outside? Like, the problem is right there, man.
You know, Robin, you have some really good analogies.
Thank you.
You
need to fix your Valentine's Day issue. That's a pressing one.
No,
right
I'm
there.
going. I'm gonna pick something up.
The wife's
I don't know
very nice. She's a nice lady. She deserves something nice.
Very nice lady. But luckily, she's not watching. So, for all she knows, is I bought this a week ago. So, all right. Some interesting news. Okay. President Biden to name Fed Vice Chairwoman Lael Brainerd as his top economic advisor. Now, Lael Brainerd is on the board of governors at the Federal Reserve, and she is known as the dovest of all doves, and she has spoken on crypto matters as well. Now, what has she said? Let's take a gander here. And I know that I said gander last time, someone made fun of me, but this is her. She kind of looks like who was that actor, or what's that comedian lady's name that anyways, it'll come to my mind here in a little bit. U.S. President Joe Biden will name Federal Reserve Vice Chairwoman Lael Brainerd as his top economic advisor, with an announcement to come soon as Tuesday. So we got a big dove leaving the Fed FOMC. Recent volatility. And so these are some of the things she's talked about in regards to crypto.
It's a dove. Dove.
What?
It's a dove.
It's a dove. The dovest of the doves, bro.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thanks for that, Robin.
You're welcome, man. Look at that beautiful dove. Yeah. Nice one right there. Oh, look at this one. Thought all doves are white, didn't you?
So, anyways, recent volatility has exposed. So, this is what Miss Brainerd said in London, July last year, in regards to crypto. Recent volatility has exposed serious vulnerabilities in the crypto financial system. She also said the Fed has been closely monitoring recent events where risks in the system have crystallized and many crypto investors have suffered losses. This was in that same speech. Strong regulatory guardrails will help enable investors and developers to build a resilient digital native financial infrastructure. So, she's going to be President Joe Biden's top economic advisor. And we understand that, you know, it's hard for the president to put two sentences together, let alone come up with a whole economic plan. So we got to assume he's going to be leaning heavily on Miss Brainerd for advice. And if cryptocurrencies happen to come up with what we know, Robin, you think she's going to steer him in the right direction or the wrong?
I hope so, man. We need more people in the financial sector that are making decisions to be pro crypto and at least give some clarity, right? At least give some guideline, at least get some people in a room to put together some bills that we can vote on that can give us the road or the path forward, man. Because, you know, we went to the convention a few weeks ago and we were there talking to some devs and they're like, yeah, man, we don't even bother offering services in US. They're like, it's too complicated, man. They're like, you know what?
That's sad, man. That's sad. The U.S. is supposed to be the leader in finance. For God's sake, the financial hub of the world is in New York City. It's in the U.S. We're supposed to be the leader in this and the free world and this and that. And we're literally dropping the ball on Internet 2.0. That's all I'm saying. And it's frustrating and it's sad. But let me tell you something. The beauty of crypto, guys, is it's borderless. Even if the U.S. decides to strong-arm crypto companies and to dissuade it as much as possible, guess what, guys? There's 280-something other countries that you can use to facilitate, buy, sell, whatever you want to do with crypto. And so that's the beauty of being borderless. It doesn't matter. And if you're thinking that all the countries are going to come together and form one regulatory body, just think about the freaking American citizens here, the politicians can't even agree to pass a stablecoin bill, let alone the whole country the whole world coming together, passing some sort of bill to regulate cryptocurrencies. All right, Rob, we are done.
We're done.
We're done.
That's it.
That's it.
What'd you give me for Valentine's Day?
I got an idea.
What's that?
Yeah, let me pull it up. Okay, see if I can get it. And also,
All right.
I'm going to conclude the poll to see what they
Oh,
say.
now it's white.
You want to talk about it?
What was that?
The poll, then I just want to take a look at.
I got a mint.
That's right.
There we go.
And it's a strawberry mint, so it's pink for Valentine's
There
Day.
we go.
Guys, today we're going to have our first video on our new channel, Bold Broadcasting. So, guys, come check us out. We're kind of trying to feel it out. It's going to be a video upload. Maybe we'll do a live one later. I don't know. We're trying to figure this thing out. We just want to cover more news and argue it the same way we do, but just a little bit outside of crypto. So,
And this is, so we have 33 subscribers.
oh, nice.
Who will help us get to 100? Guys, if you search Bold Broadcasting, you're not going to find anything on YouTube. So use the link in the description of this video. And like Robin mentioned, you're still going to get David, Robin, you're still going to get opinions, but more in broader subjects, not just cryptocurrency. And so it's going to be a lot of fun. We're ramping this thing up, guys. And so we're excited. Come join us if you'd like. Also, go check out our social medias. Follow us on Twitter at SinCityCrypto1. Go buy some merch if you'd like. And
And let me pull this one for you. There we go.
Oh,
some
what we
idea
got
for
here? We
you.
got some ladies gear. Okay.
There we go.
Leggings
Some
are in
CCO.
right now, bro. That's pretty cool,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
Can I get shipment in 2 hours?
Absolutely not. You're pretty much cooked, man. You're way
cooked,
too
huh?
late, man. You're done.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'll make it up in some other ways. You know what I'm saying? All right, guys, we are done. With that being said, Rocco,
Yeah, tell me. All right, let's do it.
friends, family, friends, and family and friends, we thank you guys so much for joining us on this beautiful CPI Tuesday. Big thank you to our two guests, Magic Internet Money and Crypto Blood. Go support them. Go subscribe. Also, if you're not subscribed to Sin City Crypto, do that as well. On behalf of myself, Robin, Rocco, love you guys. Until tomorrow.
Go love your other.
Love your
Go
other.
love
Love your mother.
everybody. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.